I'm a traveling spirit, I've seen many shores, from the West Pacific to the island of Kenya. They treat me like a son anywhere I go, and even though no one can tell, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own. On my own. I have learned that no one else can carry this load. It's a train where I'm the only passenger on board. Oh, there is beauty to enjoy on this road, but even so, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone.
I'm back. Did you miss me? Hello and welcome to Spirit Forest. I promised you I would be back, and here I am. So this video is going to be a premiere video, which means that if you're watching this video while it premieres, you can chat with me. So you would click, there's a button below or a button to the side somewhere, I don't really know. Look for it and you can chat with me while I am while I'm talking to you right now. And you can kind of ask me questions, things that are going on, and maybe some things that I didn't talk about that you are curious about. I brought you a little closer to me. Felt like you were far away. How you like my hat? Yes, new hat. Love it. Oh, this is beautiful. I just love being here. Okay, I do know that 80% of the people that watch my channel are brand new and have never watched a video before. And probably a lot of this won't make sense. This will make probably more sense to a lot of my subscribers out there, but I'm going to give you just a quick recap of what's going on. I usually post a video every week, and it's me in the wilderness and camping, and sometimes it's just a vlog of me talking or anything like that. Because of everything that's going on in the world, and I can't say what it is without YouTube marking my channel, but because of everything that's going on in the world, I wasn't doing well. And there were some things that were going on in my personal life that made it even harder. So you stack on a lot of stuff, it makes things even harder. And I rated myself from 1 to a 10, and 1 being I need help, and 10 meaning that this hasn't affected me at all, and I rated myself at a 4.5. And I needed time away from YouTube, I needed time away from the city, and I was getting to the chance where I could go back into the wilderness and the mountains, based on the rules. And I took advantage of that, and I have been out here, it's like 2 weeks or so. I am feeling amazing. This is what works for me. So on that video before, I was really down and I was really low, and I know my tools is what I was saying, and my tools to help my any mental health issues that I might have is being in nature. I mean, that's kind of what my channel's about. It's a lot of what I talk about on my channel is getting into nature and finding your center and all of that, So I have done that. And it has worked, which doesn't surprise me. Like, I am feeling good. And I don't know if you can hear in the microphone, but today's kind of a windy day, and I was talking about how the wind goes through the trees and you can hear it throughout the mountains. So now it's coming here, and it's going to continue on down there. And being in the wilderness a lot for me, I really become part of the wilderness. I don't know how else to explain it. Sometimes I'm always lost for words, but that's really what it was. And I went from a 4.5 to now an 8 or a 9, kind of, you know, depending on the day or whatever. Sorry about that, my battery went dead. But yes, I'm at like an 8 or a 9, you know, and it just kind of depends on what's going on that day. So I would say, back to normal. Yes, there are some changes in my life that I can't change. And I realize there's nothing I can do about it, so might as well embrace it. And that's what I've been doing. So what I want to do on this video, for myself as well, because a lot of these videos, I look back to see what was it like back then, you know, what was it like during the pandemic, and what did I do, and how was I feeling? I'm going to talk about what made me a 4.5. So you're going to know some details of what made me a 4.5. And I've read some of the comments on my last video, but not all of them, mostly because, well, I've been here and there's no internet here. There's a bonus sometimes to that. Other than I wanted to read the comments. I got some wonderful comments from people, and thank you so much for all your deep thoughts. I have gotten letters. I have written letters in the mail too, and it's just beautiful. And I don't want to get emotional, but I just want to thank you guys that watch my channel, that have subscribed to my channel and are with me during this journey, and that I know that you understand a lot of the stuff that I'm going through. And there are other people out there that made a comment too that this hasn't affected them. And, you know, that's okay. Actually, when I read that, that makes me feel good too, because a lot of people it doesn't affect. You know, they're out in the country and it really was no change, or they're used to being alone, and that's okay. Okay, so what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about what it is that brought me to a 4.5. And then what I want to talk about is my time here at Spirit Forest, my time in the mountains, and what I did to change my 4.5 to an 8 or 9. I would say that not being able to go into the mountains and drive into the mountains or leave my immediate area in the city and only being able just to walk on an urban hike brought me down to a 6. So I was at a solid 6 for a long time. Every once in a while I'd probably dip down into a 5. I did everything I could possibly do for my own mental health. The things that I knew what to do was to be in nature. I would walk a lot of urban hiking, walking in the city, and it was constant concrete everywhere and car exhaust, and yeah, I have taken the kids on hikes. We walked 11 miles, you know. We would walk to big parks and just sit there, and Kyla would play her harmonica. Yay. Then we would have picnics in other parks, and we have gone to every park possible within walking distance, so I would say within 12 miles of my house. And we would leave my house and walk 12 miles to that park. And I think I've gone to every park that I would consider to be safe. Not every park is safe. There was a lot of people there. A lot of people at the park. There was a lot of grass and groomed, you know, it's a park. It's like a city park type park. And it just didn't give me what I feel I needed, which is the winds and the trees and the birds and all of the, and the peace and the no people anywhere. It didn't give that to me, which is what I needed. The time where I went from like a 6 to a 5, where I really felt it for me, and I know everybody's different, understand I'm different than you, and how I react to things is different than the way you react to things, and that's okay, is when I went to the grocery store and there was a line to get in. You would have to wait 15 to 20 minutes to get groceries. I ended up at the beginning of this whole pandemic, I had the kids for about 3 weeks straight. The girl's daddy wasn't feeling well. He had a cough. He didn't know what it was about. Didn't ever had a fever or anything like that. He just wanted to make sure. So for 3 weeks, he was isolated by himself in his house, and I had the kids for 3 weeks. Well, I didn't really want to go to the grocery store during that time. And so we basically ate all of my food in the house. Now, I'm the type of person that grocery shops every week. And that's what I do. And I'm on a budget. Every week I spend a certain amount of money on groceries. And so we ate all the food in my house, pretty much, other than some pastas and stuff like that. It was time for me to go grocery shopping. I am waiting in this line. I get into the grocery store and everybody's wearing a mask. Nobody's giving each other eye contact. It's like everyone is just depressed, and they're all looking at the ground. And I'm used to, I communicate through my smile. I just do. Like, a lot of you say that on my channel, is like, I can tell with your smile how you're doing that day, because that's how I communicate. Well, I can't communicate with this thing on my face, and I'm smiling at people, but they can't tell. And yeah, sometimes my eyes smile too, I've been told. But I can't, and I'm finding myself being just like them, like I'm a zombie at the grocery store, and I'm just looking at the ground because I just don't feel like giving anyone eye contact. And I decided, and it was that day, I have never bought this much groceries all at once, ever in my life. I spent between $300 and $400 at the grocery store, and I had stacked full that grocery cart. I have seen other people do it before. Some people do that regularly, but I don't. So to me, that was really odd. My grocery cart was prepared for like a month and a half to 2 months of food, where I never had to go to the grocery store again, other than maybe milk and eggs or something like that. And I did that. And I was not planning that when I went to that grocery store. I felt like this hollow feeling in the grocery store. I didn't realize that about me, that I depend on people's interaction as I smile to them and they smile back. Like, there's a lot of that with me and my mental health. I did not know that about me. When I would go on my hikes too, the same kind of thing. We're all wearing a mask. I don't even look at people anymore. If I see somebody and I'm walking down the street, you know what I do? I would, and I still do probably today. Yeah. I look down. I don't even give them eye contact. I look down and I continue to walk. Or if I see somebody coming, I'm crossing the street, so I don't have to be next to them. And that affected my mental health more than I thought it would. I found myself after that grocery store visit, I came back to my house. I put the groceries in the house. I didn't even put them away. And I laid down on the couch. And I, at that point in my life, was sad. Like, I was sad. And I didn't know, I was like, I don't know. I know it sounds really odd, and a lot of you are going through different things. I totally get that. And I got more that's coming up. Don't worry about it. But that was a time where I'm like, this is different. This is not normal. This is not good, And I called up a friend of mine and told her, I was like, I'm not going grocery shopping again. You know what I mean? And after talking to a friend, I was doing really well, and she cheered me up a bit, and you know who you are, so thank you for that. Sometimes you need to check in with people just to kind of say, hey, you know what? I'm not doing really well. And sometimes just talking to a friend will help out. Some other things that I would do that is part of my toolkit to help my own personal mental health is to paint and draw and art. All of that is all part of what helps me. And I've been taking online classes of different, because I usually don't do a lot of scenery. landscape type art. A lot of my art is just like a flower, or maybe it's just a horse, or it's just, you know, like one thing or two things on the painting. It's not a whole scenery. And so I've been with my daughter, we've been doing these online classes, and it has helped, don't get me wrong, and it's helped my kids as well. I've also done a lot of chalk art in my neighborhood too. I actually got featured on their whatever app, their page and stuff. So they featured me on the page, and I did one of a dragon trying to eat the coronavirus. I thought that was kind of fun. And I did some Viking things too, just to kind of, I don't know, part of my Viking side wanted to come out that day, you know, and then it would rain, it would go away, and I'd do another one. You know, I did one for Earth Day too. To me, it was a lot of fun. I would take some time off work, and then, you know, I'd have a break at work, and so I'd go outside and do some chalk art, and that was a lot of fun. I've done a ton of paintings. I would say my kids, they've taken it their own way. Madison, at some point, didn't want to leave her bed. She wouldn't leave her bed until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then she would stay up until 2 or 3 at night. And I needed to put a stop to that. So I ended up having to come up with some creative things for her to do, but just getting her out of bed and getting her motivated. And she's 15 years old. She's a teenager. She's learning the word, "No, Mom, I don't want to do that." Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of that. And she's also learning that's not in my vocabulary. And we do things together. So I have to, not only am I working and I'm going through my own stuff, I have to make sure that they're entertained. I have Kyla. She's up in her room, like, she's doing really well at school. She has a timer. She's a schedule girl, you know. I'm not a schedule girl like she is. Like, she schedules everything. But she's scheduling everything at school. So when she's done with her schoolwork, which is like 9:30 or 10 o'clock, she comes down to my desk, my work desk, and is like, "Okay, Mom, what's next?" You know. So I'm trying to be creative. We're playing a lot of card games and board games, and Kyla even painted as well, which she never will come paint with me, but she said, "Mom, I think I'm going to try it." And she was really good. I was so impressed with her, and I hope that she continues to do that. I think that they're doing okay now, but I think that during the time, during that, where things were really, really strict. I mean, Colorado's starting to open up, but things are really, really strict. I don't think the kids were going outside and doing stuff like they would normally do. Now Madison's riding her bike more, and Kyla's on her scooter, and actually they're meeting friends. Yeah, they're wearing masks and stuff, but they're meeting friends, and they're riding on their scooters together, and that's what my kids need. You know, they need that. They didn't have that for 2 months. My ex-husband and I, my girl's daddy, decided that we weren't going to take the kids in any stores. You know, we started that way, but then we're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. You know, we're waiting in line for one person in. Well, anyways, they didn't go to any stores, so the only places they went to was my house or his house, and that was it. Some other things that were going on, just to mention them, so I know kind of how it was as well, is that my mom turned 75 this year. And we were planning a really big party, and my sister was going to fly out to Colorado, and we were going to surprise her and everything, and it was going to be a really big celebration for her birthday, and we had to cancel that. So instead, my sister and we did a virtual party, and Madison was able to sing Happy Birthday. Also, some things with me and my body were changing too, because I ended up gaining 8 pounds, all like around my belly. 8 pounds during this whole pandemic. I'm like, what was I eating? Or what wasn't I eating? I was like justifying eating as many cookies as I could because I'm like, yeah, I need these, you know, and I just sit there and just eat cookies. And yeah, no matter how much walking I did, I was just not eating correctly. So that contributed to my my score of 4.5. Also, and I'll talk about it here going forward, is that I am not working for the same company I was working for when this pandemic started. So, yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about that, talking about how I'm healing myself too. And then I had to put my cabin on hold. Yeah. I had to put my cabin on hold. And that hurt me. You know, things in the financial world for me were not going very well. But I'll talk about that, and we have future videos about what's going to happen with that. Just a lot of changes. We were planning a family reunion this year to Hawaii, and had to cancel that. Hawaii's closed. And also Madison's 16th birthday party. We're going to New York on Madison Avenue. She was named after Madison from the movie Splash. And we were going to take her to New York on her 16th birthday, and we have been talking about it her whole life. And we had to cancel that too. And, you know, I'd rather stay safe, and I understand all of that, but that's just things that you plan for, and now that aren't happening. And so now what do we do? And, you know, we survive is what we do. We survive. Oh, another thing I did, just an effort to, like, I don't know, entertain Madison and stuff, is like, let's dye our hair. And I'm laughing because I have no idea what I'm doing, you know what I mean? And she's following me. She's like, what do we do, Mom? And I'm like, I don't know. We stick the, you know, we're trying to highlight it, you know. And I ended up dyeing my hair orange. I don't know, you can't really tell the camera, but my hair's orange. You know, the Vikings long time ago, they dyed their hair, so it's all good. Yeah, I have orange hair. It'll grow out. It'll wash out at some point, I'm guessing. I was doing okay. I was staying at about a 6. And it might have been the day before I recorded my last video. That's when I hit a 4.5. That's when somebody died. And that's when I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be that strong person. I have to use my tools. I need to help myself so I can help my kids. And I'm going to explain what happened. It's, you know, people were dying of coronavirus every time you go on. Well, for me, every time I went on like any Facebooks or any social medias, like I stopped going on them. Like I'd go on there to post for you guys every now and then, but then I'd stop going on there. I'd go in there and post for like my own personal Facebook for my friends and family, but like scrolling through that stuff, no. You know, everything to me was about death and how many people died. How many people died in Colorado and how many people died in the United States and what's going on in New York and all this kind of stuff, you know? I just couldn't do it anymore. And then when it hit closer to home and where someone that I knew died, I was done. I knew at that point I needed to go. So I'm going to explain this a little bit, but understand that, you know, I have a lot of respect for this family that lost their family member. And if they end up watching this video, it's not that I'm trying to do anything for, I don't know. I don't know what the right words are to say. I don't know what the right words are to say, but hopefully I can get through this and talk about it without crying. Kyla has friends, and actually you've seen them on my channel. And Kyla, it's Kyla's second family. You know what I mean? Like, you have that family that you always hang out with when you were a kid and stuff, and you go in there and you're opening the pantry and seeing what's in there for lunch, or what kind of snack you can have. It feels like home. It's like that house that feels like home. Well, Kyla had a house like that, you know. How do I explain this? Just bear with me through this, okay? One of the kids died, and it was really, really tough. And part of the sad part too was that, you know, and I obviously knew this. I know the family, I know the kid, obviously, you know what I mean? And Kyla was upstairs, and she was told about this death by someone who I felt was not the right person to tell her. And really pissed me off, first of all. I was very pissed off at that. But okay, I shouldn't talk about it. Anyways, told Kyla, I was on a business call downstairs. Kyla's waiting on the stairs, which is right next to my desk. I can't tell that she's there because I'm on video most of the time when I'm on a business call. And so I ended my business call, and I hear Kyla screaming, crying behind me as soon as I hang up that call. She comes running down the stairs, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm trying to look at her because she's crying like she's hurt, like something happened to her and she's hurt. And she ends up telling me that my neighbor's kid died, you know, and like she's hyperventilating, you know, like she's just like, and I'm like, how is that possible? He's a young kid. Like, what's going on? You know, what do you do when you're like, as a mom, like, what do you do? How do you comfort them? And, you know, I did everything I could do. I hugged her, and I was like, well, let's find out the truth, because you heard it through this person, and which was an adult, which shouldn't have said anything at all. It should have been me to tell her, or her friend's mom or something. You know what I mean? It's just, anyways, so we talked about it. I went on, you know, because I was like, I didn't want to call the mom right away, because I got her phone number on my phone, be like, hey, I heard this. Is this true? You know, I didn't want to do that, and it was true. So it wasn't the coronavirus. It wasn't. Well, not that I know of. Maybe it was. They're trying to find out. It was the kid's birthday the day before. He lives in the basement of the house, and he's got his own little area down there. And he went downstairs to go to bed, and never came back up the stairs. And the mom went down there to him, and he already passed. They don't know why, and they might know why now, but I don't feel like texting her and finding out right now. I think it will come to me at some point. I did end up texting the mom back and forth a couple times and stuff, but she's got a huge family here in Colorado. She's got a lot of support. My job was right now, at that point, was to support Kyla. And the day I recorded that video was the day after that kid died. So I knew at that point I needed to go up into the mountains. And I would constantly check in with Kyla and stuff. I don't want to get too much detail about that, but I just want to let you know it has affected me. I have the girl's daddy's coworker got it, you know, and I mentioned it actually in a previous video, and then his mom died. So it's just like, things are like, you start to get to the point where you know somebody that has died of it, especially if you're from the city and you know a lot of people. It kind of gets to that point. In that video, I didn't talk about it because it was just too much for me. I had too much emotion in that video. It was just too much, you know. As a parent, you never want to lose your kid, you know. I can't imagine what she's going through. And, you know, we went over there with flowers and all that kind of stuff. And they're doing better. They're coping better and everything like that. But it was a tough time. It was a tough time. And And I tried to work through it, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm still going to stay in the city. And then I think it was that day or the day after the governor announced that, you know, and I've been noticing a lot of people are going into the mountains, you know. You know, sometimes I think the mountains are coming to me. As I was working, one of the squirrels came by my office and started knocking on my window. It was really cute. Like, it just was waiting for me. To me, I'm like, that's a sign. It's telling me I need to go in the mountains, you know. Anyway, so I went into the mountains to cure me, is what I did. And the next thing I want to talk about is what I did here to bring me from the 4.5 to the 8 to 9.
There's a lot of colors, I don't know where to go. See a lot of colors, only feeling blue. There's a lot of colors, lost within a haze. Don't rely on others to get you through the maze. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Cannot take this anymore. There are a lot of voices drowning in the sea. There's too many voices talking back at me. There are a lot of choices waiting to be made. Too many choices making me afraid. Dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore.
Let's talk about all the good stuff I did, all the fun that I had on this nice break. I was here. It's Spirit Forest. Like, this deck was like my sanctuary. And if you notice, yes, the Viking tent is down. I took it down because it's really meant to be a winter tent. It's meant for the snow, not the rain. And now it's raining. We get rainstorms now, or a rain-snow mix. So it was time for that tent to go down. But I have these little chairs here where my girls and we would sit on them, and we'd had lunch. And I brought him up here a few times. I didn't come up here until I knew Kyla was okay. Once I knew Kyla was okay, that's when I went up here, and I put up my like backpacking tent, and I just sat in the dirt, in the ground. I just laid down, you know. It was just, oh, it was so perfect. It was exactly what I needed, you know. And I even tried this new yoga thing, which yoga is not my thing, but I tried this new yoga routine that my sister pointed out for me. And I was like, you know, this isn't too bad. And actually being outside and doing yoga, which usually yoga makes me really tired, but it was really able to calm me, the type of class that I did. I just downloaded some videos on my phone and watched it, because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to yoga, but it really did help me. Like, I really, really enjoyed that. That was part of my healing, was some of this yoga and doing it outside. And then the hummingbirds, I hear the hummingbirds. I'm so happy I didn't miss that, because I missed them. You know, I've been seeing them. Like, one hovered like right next to me, and it was like looking at me, you know, and it was really cool. And then the little birds that I like were here. I don't know, little chicklet birds. I don't know what they're called. If you know the name, let me know. But they were here, and I just constantly smiled. And it was like an immediate thing. As soon as I drove down my driveway, I had a smile on my face. I could be outside without a mask, and I could walk around my property. And that's what I've been doing. Like, I'm literally making laps around my own property. I did get to go hiking. I did hike in the mountains that were nearby. In some areas, there's just really too much snow. It's like 4 feet deep in some areas. But I went to my bridge too that I was talking about. I was going to the bridge. There were other people that actually liked that bridge too. So there were some people there. But I would say the majority of the time, I was here. I was here at Spirit Forest. I was listening to the wind, you know. And I would say for the first week, it took me about a week, and then I was good. I was totally good. I was fine. I took another week off off YouTube, that is, just so that I could just be out here. I had some things I needed to do. Those of you that are on my Patreon, you already know all the stuff that I've been working on, you know, because if you know me, I can only do yoga for a little bit. I can only calm down for a little bit, but then I'm like, I gotta be busy. I gotta do stuff, you know, and I'm doing stuff. So let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I'm doing. I told you I wasn't going to take my camera up here. When I'm here to heal, I am here to heal myself and not record anything. However, I did take the camera once because there's going to be some changes on my land and I wanted to do some before stuff. So one of the videos coming up are going to be what those changes were. So I mentioned briefly that I no longer work for the company I was working for before. I'm shocked by that too, but and I don't want to give too much detail about it other than I felt the company was suffering. We let go of a lot of people at the office. A lot of customers were canceling. For those of you that don't know, the company that I was working for, they sold to restaurants, hotels, airlines, and Disney. So, yeah, they weren't doing so good, you know. And I was seeing what was going to happen, you know. And it was really odd. I got a call from a previous boss. And he says, first he's like, hey, do you remember me? It was 10 years ago that I worked with him. And at that point, I've mentioned it in an early video about how I was like, not an executive, but maybe an executive. I ran an office of like 35 people. And I was in charge, and I was in the corner office, and I had about like 6 to 8 designers reporting to me, some tech support reps, and then like a dotted line to the sales team. And I ran that office, and I wore a suit every day, you know what I mean? Like I was that person, you know? So that's how he remembers me, you know, as you guys remember me like this, you know? We all change. But anyways, he says that he's looking to hire a designer, and possibly there's some room for improvement. There's some room for promotions and stuff like that. You know, and he says, I know how you work. And you guys see me out here, like I work hard. I do the same thing for my job too. I work hard. And so he says, I'd like to hire you. And I can't give away everything about the company name and stuff like that, but I would say they work for parts of the government too. I've had to go through a bunch of like background checks and personality tests and like math tests and all this stuff to get into this company, and that added to my stress. You know, and this was before I left to come back out here. So this is like during my 4.5 part, you know what I mean? Like I was really stressed because I had all these tests that I had to do. They even did a credit check on me and stuff, you know what I mean? It was crazy amount of testing in order for me to work for this company. Well, I passed it, so, so I have a new job. Yay! And who's hiring at a time like this? This company's hiring. They're more secure. They deal more with networking and stuff like that companies need, like the government. So I feel more secure in this job. I feel also that I'll be able to contribute a lot more to my career. That is, there's a lot of opportunity for growth with me, and this could be a company. Hopefully, who knows? This could be a company I retire with, and that would be something that I would really like. We'll see. We'll see where the future goes. You never really know. I've learned one thing. I've learned about this whole thing: you can't plan for anything. So, because I have this new job, and I have already started it, and I have decided to move forward with the cabin again. You know what I mean? Because I did have to put it on hold, and I didn't know what I was going to have to do. I thought that the cabin's just going to have to wait another year. Because of this new job, I was able to move forward with this cabin, and I'm so excited. So excited. So the second week I was here, the first week was more healing and yoga and like feeling the spirits and talking to the trees. The second week was more, I gotta work, like I gotta get this stuff done. I start my new job, you know what I mean? And starting a new job at the level that I'm starting, at a senior level, that's where I'm starting at, is a lot of work, you know? So it's like, and I'll be honest with you, I've been working till 9 o'clock at night in a lot of cases, you know, like I am working hard on my career. So that week, that second week I was out here, I was moving trees. I was using my chainsaw. I brought my kids out here. I was putting them to work too, you know. So we're getting it done is what we're doing. We're doing things right now, you know. I will still be camping. I still will be doing more things. I have to make sure that my career is stable as any other job that you first start. You got like a 60-day, 90-day probation period, you know what I mean, to see how you work. Now, again, I'm pretty confident in my skills. I'm pretty confident. However, their product is very complex. But I don't want this video to be about that. But that is part of my healing, is having a job that I felt that was more secure. That is what healed me. And then also just sitting with the trees. And I put up my tent over here, and Rocky was with me the whole time, and it was really needed, just listening to nature. And I'm finding myself more and more wanting to be here. And so now I'm coming up again every weekend. I'm going to be coming up here. I won't be able to, I don't have vacation, so I'll probably be just coming up here for just a couple days, or just doing some hiking trips and maybe a really short backpacking trip or something like that. I realize this is a long talking video, and it's just really a chat with you and I hope that you're chatting in the premiere with me if you're still on too. So I think that would be a lot of fun to chat with you, see how you guys are doing, and maybe some tools that you use to improve yourself and your mental health, especially if you're an outdoor person like me and you weren't able to get into the outdoors. I would say some of the good things about being able to get into the mountains too, or weren't able to get into the mountains. I spend only like $15 in a month and a half on gas. $15. That shows you how much I drove. I usually spend, because my app tells me what I spend on things, I usually spend between $300 and $400 on gas every month. And that's mostly to drive here to Spirit Forest. And I spent $15. So it actually saved some money. And I'm guessing you guys did too. I saved some money. So I couldn't believe the gas prices. It was ridiculous. I could not believe it. So now I'm trying to get into the mountains again, and still gas prices are low, but they're creeping up a bit. You notice that? During this time, I think there was Mother's Day that happened during this time, and my girls have made it so extra special for me. I got so many flowers. I was up in the mountains on Mother's Day, and I drove down. And, you know, it's like I was camping forever, you know, and I drove down for Mother's Day so I can be with my kids. and they surprised me with a full-on brunch and flowers and beautiful notes to me. It was so warming and so nice. You know, I just loved it. And I also like took a visit to my post office. I got some really cool things. Rocky got a cool, thank you Gary for giving Rocky a bone. Rocky got a bone, so he was all happy and he brought it up here to chew on the rest of it. It was really good, and I got a ton of letters too from people to my P.O. box, and I just want to thank you, really do. I really felt you guys, all the notes, and I got emails now. Like I'm trying to go through them all and try to answer them, but because I'm only in the city for a little bit, I had to go back in the city to get my new computer for my new job, and then I came back up here. So I was only there for like a couple days and I came back up here, but it was just so nice. It really was. And I want to thank you so much. It's such a wonderful community, you know, the Spirit Forest. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so. Not all videos are just me sitting here talking about my life, you know, but, well, sometimes some of them are, but, you know, hopefully we can get up and we can camp, and we gotta reset up my kitchen. We got a lot of things we gotta do here at Spirit Forest. I wanna set up a new bushcraft kitchen. That's gonna be probably one of the first things that I do. As the other kitchen's gonna be a driveway and there's gonna be a lot of people here. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my canvas tent, and we'll talk about that. I think there'll be some other times that we're just gonna come out here. We're just gonna like fix things on the land. I wanna give you some updates. I wanna start doing my YouTube cabin videos. And that is where, in case you don't know, I'm building a cabin here in the mountains. Yes, I've hired a builder, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing in the cabin. And I want to start going and start doing those videos. Those on my Patreon are all up to date, but everybody on YouTube has no idea what's going on. So I want to be able to get some cabin videos for you so you can see where I'm at and what process that I'm at. And so you can follow along my journey of how to build a cabin in the mountains here in Colorado. That's gonna be fun. And I will always title those videos with the word cabin. So in case you don't want to see those, just skip over those. You know, you can do whatever you want. I am very excited to be back to YouTube. Thank you again so much for just allowing this break and you guys being so open about it and understanding it. And I feel like I'm good. I can see a lot of future fun videos coming up. I got some plans. So I will talk to you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.
The world could fall